Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome again to our episode of religious teachings. So, I've done the first episode was on Islamic religion. The second one was on understanding Christianity. The third one was on Judaism. Now, the fourth one will be on Hinduism. What is Hinduism? The religion of Hindu. Hindu is a language, Hinduism is a religion. So decoding Hinduism involves understanding its core complex and diverse sects of beliefs. So there's got diverse sects of beliefs, practices, history, sacred texts, and cultural impact. So I have to go through all of those. So the first one will be the core beliefs of Hinduism. The second one will explore the sacred texts, which they hold more dear in Hinduism. The third one will be on the major deities in Hinduism. Then 4 will be the practices in Hinduism and the history of the Hinduism. Then denominations or different sects, like I've done all the previous religions as well. There's always domination, improvement, reforms in every religion. So the 7th one will be on the cultural impact. The 8th one will be on the modern role which Hinduism play in our daily life. Then I'll give a quick summary of Hinduism, what we make up after all of this. I think it should be an heavyweight, but we can tell. So as you know, Hinduism is one of the oldest religions as well in the world, just like Judaism, I can say. So should we begin, ladies and gentlemen? Get ready. Okay, sit ready. Get belt tighten. Let's begin. So the core beliefs of Hinduism, you have to start with the first one, is the polytheism and the monotheism. As we know, polytheism, simply poly, means many. Mono in my mother language, mono means I or I am, which in this case, mono means one. Monotheism, oneness of God, belief in oneness of God. Polytheism means belief in many gods or multiple gods. So one will be the polytheism and monotheism in Hinduism. So in Hinduism encompasses a wide range of beliefs from polytheism to monotheism, meaning many gods, to oneness of God, unique God. It is often described as enotheistic, meaning it recognizes a single deity, but also acknowledges other gods and goddesses. So you have to get used to it. In Hinduism, we're talking about gods and goddesses and the uniqueness of God as well, one deity. Second one is on the Brahman. The concept of Brahman is central in Hinduism. Brahman or Brahma is the ultimate reality or the universal soul. Brahman is the ultimate reality or universal soul according to Hinduism. And all deities are seen as manifestation of this singular reality of Brahma. The third one is on Atman, the word for soul in Hinduism, Atman. So Atman refers to the individual soul or self, or the I. The I is simply the ego or the self, Atman, which is considered eternal. It is eternal, the soul is eternal in Hinduism, so they believe that as well. Hindus believe in the concept of the soul is immortality and its connection to Brahma. So Brahma again is what? Brahma is the central, or Brahma is the ultimate reality or the universal soul. So Atma, which is a concept of the soul is immortality, it is also connected to Brahma or the what? Or the universal soul. 4 is karma. I know you have heard the word of karma. Karma is more popular now in the Western world than Africa, Asia, all around the world. But what is karma? So karma is the law of cause and effect. In this case, is a law or principle. So according to the Kybalion, we have got 7 principles. What are the 7 principles? The first one is the principle of mentalism. The second is on correspondence. The third one is vibration, then polarity. Then we have the rhythm one. Then the cause and effect, which is the 6th one. The 7th one is based on the gender. So if we look in the Kybalion here, we have to go through the 7 Hermetic principles. So the first one is the principle of mentalism. What does it mean? So the all is mind, the universe is mental. meaning everything is inside your mind, or the Alya signifies God, or the ultimate reality, or the infinite, the creator. So the second principle, the principle of correspondence, which says, as above, so below, as below, so above. There's a second principle. The third principle of vibration, which says, nothing rests, everything moves, everything vibrates, according to the Kybalion by the three initiates. The fourth one is the principle of polarity. Everything is dual, everything has poles, everything has its pair of opposites. Like and unlike are the same. Opposites are identical in nature, but different in degree. Extreme meets, all truth are but half-truth. All paradoxes may be reconciled. So north and south, you have the hot and cold are measured by the same instrument, the thermometer. Sometimes you can have the extreme of hotness, extreme of coldness. So they're all measured by the same instrument, hot and cold, dark and day and night, black and white, and all of the extremes, the opposites, north and south, pole. So the fifth is the principle of rhythm. So everything flows out and in, everything has its tides. So all things rise and fall, the pendulum swing, manifesting everything. The measure of the swing to the right is equal to the measure of the swing to the left. Rhythm compensates. There's a 50th principle of rhythm according to the Kybalion. Then the sixth one is the principle of cause and effect. This is one which you're focusing in Hinduism. So every cause has its effect, and every effect has its cause. So everything happens according to law. Chance is but a name for law not recognized. So nothing happens for everything happens for reason. This is what they're trying to say. There are many planes of causation, but nothing escapes the law. There's the sixth principle. The seventh one and the last one is the principle of gender, which says gender is in everything. Everything has its masculine and feminine principles. Gender manifests on all planes. So enough with the Kybalion by the three initiates. Let's go back to Hinduism. So in this case, we have to go back to the cause and effect, karma. So karma is the law of cause and effect, just as we heard. Let's continue. We're still on karma. So karma is the law of cause and effect, where a person's actions determine their future experiences. That's the meaning of karma. So good actions lead to positive outcomes, while bad actions result in negative consequences. So the fifth one is a samsara. Samsara, which means it's a cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. That's the meaning of samsara in Hinduism. So the goal is to achieve liberation of moksha from this cycle. So you have to excuse me on the pronunciation. If you are Hinduism or if you're from India, then you can tell me the correct pronunciation in the comment section. Then the sixth part, we're still on the core beliefs, is the moksha, which is the liberation from the cycle of samsara, achieved through self-realization and union with the Brahman. So there's a moksha, trying to liberate yourself from this cycle of samsara, the birth, death, and rebirth, reincarnation in other words. So the second part is based on the sacred texts, the text in Hinduism. So the first one is the Vedas. The Vedas. So Vedas are actually the oldest and most authoritative scriptures, including the Rig Veda, the Yajurveda, then we have the Samarveda and the Atharva Veda. So they consist of hymns, prayers, rituals, and philosophical teachings. The two is the Upanishads, which are the philosophical texts that explore the nature of reality, the self, and the universe. So they form the theoretical basis for much of the Hindu thought. This is the Upanishads that form the philosophical, which form the ideology, really thinking thought of the Hindu in general. The three is epics. So when talking about epics, legends really. So we have the Mahabharata and the Ramayana are two major epics that narrate the stories of the ancients, heroes, and the moral and ethical dilemmas they face. So we have the Bhagavad Gita, which is part of the Mahabharata, is a dialogue between the Prince Arjuna and the God Krishna, offering key teachings on duty, righteousness, and devotion. Then 4 is the Puranas, which is a genre of ancient texts that include the myth, legends, cosmology. With cosmology is simply the study of the celestial bodies, cosmos, the things in the sky or universe. And traditional lore, the most well-known Puranas are the Vishnu Purana, we have the Shiva Purana, and the Bhagavata Purana. So the third one, or the third topic, will be the major deities in Hinduism. So what are the major deities? One, we have the Trinity, which is in Hindu, it is called the Trimurti. So Hinduism, like Christianity, also they believe in Trinity, or they believed first before the Christianity faith came. The Christian faith came, because Hinduism is older than the Christian faith. So Trinity, they're called the Trimurti. So the Trinity in Hinduism is a Brahma, which is the creator. So the Trinity of Hinduism, which consists of Brahma, according to them, to the Hindu, is the creator. Then we have the Vishnu. The Vishnu is the preserver. Then we have the Shiva, who is the destroyer. Number 2, we have other important deities in Hinduism. We have the Saraswati, which is the goddess of knowledge. We have the Lakshmi, which is the goddess of wealth. We have the Parvati, goddess of power. We have the Ganesh, which is the god of beginnings. Then we have the Hanuman, who are the devotee of Rama. Those are all the important deities in Hinduism. So number 4 is practices, the practices of Hinduism. So one is puja. Puja is a ritualistic worship that involves offerings to deities. There's the puja, with chanting of mantras and prayers. I know you have heard about mantras, repetition. Then 2 is yoga. What is yoga? A spiritual and physical practice aimed at achieving mental clarity, physical health, and spiritual growth. So in the Western concept, they have a different concept or aspect of yoga. But in this case, in Hinduism, yoga is actually a spiritual and physical practice aimed at achieving mental clarity, physical health, and spiritual growth. That is what yoga aims to do in a person's life. Then 3, we have meditation. I know everyone likes meditation, but do you understand what is meditation? The concept of meditation, the principles of meditation. I know there are many words which has been misunderstood in the Western world and Africa, Asia as well. Small part of Asia, not all of Asia, because India is in Asia as well. So meditation are actually techniques for calming the mind and achieving the spiritual insight. That's what meditation is aimed to do or to achieve. 4, we have festivals in Hinduism. We have the Diwali, festival of lights, like we saw in the Judaism, the Hanukkah. Here we have the Diwali, which is the festival of lights. We have the Holi, 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 which is the festival of colors. We have the Navaratri, festival of 9 nights. We have the Kashta Bandhan, the Kashta Bandhan, which is a celebration or celebrating the bond between brothers and sisters. So 5th is a history of Hinduism. 1, we have the Indus Valley civilization. What is Indus Valley civilization? So this is the early roots of Hinduism, can be traced to this ancient civilization dating back to 2500 BCE. BCE simply means before the Common Era, or 2500 BCE. 2 is a Vedic period, the composition of the Vedas and the formation of early Vedic religion around 1500 BCE or 1500 BCE, before Common Era. Then 3rd is the classical period. The classical period, this is the development of major philosophies, the rise of the devotional movements, and the composition of the epics and the Puranas around 500 BCE to 500 CE, before Common Eras and during the Common Era. So 4 is the medieval period. So we have the Bhakti, which means devotional, Bhakti, devotional. Devotional simply means oneness of God, or believing, pouring yourself to God or Goddess, whatever you want to believe. So being devotional, worshipping. So Bhakti movement or devotional movement flourished, emphasizing personal devotion to deities around 500 to 1500 or 1500 CE, the Common Era. Then the modern period, reform movements in the 19th and 20th centuries, addressing social issues, adapting Christianity, adapting Hinduism, to contemporary contexts. Then 6, the continuation is the denominations, which simply means sects, different sects, divisions of the Hinduism. So we have one is the Vaishnavism, which is the worship of Vishnu and his avatars, including Krishna and Rama. Then we have the Shaivism, which is the worship of Shiva as the supreme god. So we saw Shiva here as being the destroyer, but here they have opened a religion which they worship. They call themselves the Shaivism. They worship Shiva as the supreme god, but here it says Shiva was the destroyer. So 3, we have the Shaktism, which is the worship of the Divine Mother. Shakti means Divine Mother in various forms, such as the Durga and the Kali. Then we have the 4, Smartism, another group or another branch of the Hinduism, which is Smartism is a more philosophical and inclusive approach that venerates multiple deities, typically emphasizing the unity of God. The unity of God meaning God, the Supreme One. 7th part, we look at the cultural impact of Hinduism in the society. 1 is the art and architecture. Then the Hindu temples, the sculpture, the iconology, or the iconography are rich in symbolism and artistic expression. 2 is the literature and music in Hinduism. So the Hindu themes are prevalent in the classical literature, dance, music, including classical dances forms like the Bharatanatyam and the Katake. So forgive me on the pronunciation there. So it is the Bharatanatyam and the Katake. So Hindus love their dance, their music. They love to express themselves like the Hindu people, the Indians. Hindu is a language. So 3, we have the philosophy and the science. So this is a contribution to fields such as mathematics, astronomy, like astro, meaning heavenly body, the study of stars or celestials. We have medicine, which is called the Ayurveda in Hindu, and the metaphysics simply going beyond physics or going beyond the physical things, meta, which are like imaginative parts, or it's going beyond the physical things, really, beyond science. 8 is the modern role of Hinduism. 1 is a global presence. So Hinduism has spread worldwide. We can agree on that, all of us. So particularly through the Indian diaspora, and is practiced globally. So 2 is an interfaith dialogue. So Hinduism engages in dialogue with other religions, promoting mutual understanding and respect. So 3 is a social issues. What can we say about social issues about Hinduism? So modern Hinduism addresses issues such as the caste discrimination. Caste is simply like putting people in different groups. Yeah, so it's like the rich, the poor going down with the ladder, the hierarchy. So the Hinduism address the issues such as the caste discrimination, gender equality, and the environmental sustainability. So what can we say about Hinduism after all of that? I know this is a heavyweight religion because it has been here for too long and it is still here with us. So Hinduism is a diverse and ancient religion with a rich tapestry of beliefs, practices, and cultural contributions in our society or in the world today or in the past. So understanding its core practices or principles, sacred text, history, and modern adaptations provides insights into one of the world's oldest and most complex religions. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think this is the 4th episode. I think I'm going to end here on the religion matters. So maybe if you've got another suggestion, you can leave it in the comment section. So this was Mwanandeke Kindembo. We'll talk about Hinduism. You can go through it again. So again, as we saw here in the first part, they believe in the monotheism and the polytheism, in oneness of God and many gods as well. So for most of the people that we only thought that Hinduism only believe in polytheism, many gods. But there are some who call themselves smartists who are coming to evolve or develop the idea of oneness or one unique God, believing in one supreme God. Thank you so much, and thank you for your patience as well. Ciao, bye.